All right, so just keeping this week's recap a little bit old school and just going to talk about what I did during the week. And then I figured I could get more into the app in other videos just as I kind of play around with it a little bit. And I'll touch upon some stuff here. But day one, top set of safety bar squats for a set of 10, and you have to rate the RPE. I rated it at a 6, which I'm always hesitant to do because that I know that it'll give me back off sets that are relatively close to that top set. And in fact, I kept rating the back off sets relatively easy to the point where my last back off set was higher than my top set. So there's always that. So from there, moved on to 3 count pause bench. And one of the things that I always do with these is just go for an extended pause, only because I don't really count like 1, 2, 3. So I'm probably not doing an exactly 3 count bench, but the problem is when I'm doing rep work and then also having to worry about pausing for a certain amount of time, I tend to lose track of the reps, which is not a fun feeling to do. So as long as I'm getting a longer or extended pause for what I normally do, I'm usually pretty good with that. Next day, this is day 2, as you can tell by the sweet outfit change. I'm not that cool where I change outfits in the middle of sets, but a lot more bench, in this case feet up. I like to actually lift my feet up for this, not like a Larson press because I find that puts stress on my lower back, but also not putting my feet on the bench just because I find like I push too much with my feet, and this gives me something that's a little bit more difficult to do for the most part. Speaking of more difficult to do for the most part, I'm finally working in good mornings. I figured I need to use this transformer bar. It does have a hinge setting, but it's so awkward because the weight literally wants to flip off of your back. So I'm really doing my best to pull the bar down and into me so that does not happen. And I'm just really trying to push my ass back and feel it in my hamstrings, just kind of really playing around with this as it's super awkward. But I'm assuming because I'm not good at it, if I get better at these, it could potentially have some really good carryover for me. Now, this is day 3, top set of pause below the shin conventional deadlifts, 406 for 6 at an RP5, and a little bit of a weird load here just because I'm using those competition collars. I'm also using 55-pound plates, but conventional deadlift felt really, really good today, so I'm really, really happy with that. You'll also note in this video, I'm breaking in these Vivo barefoot shoes that you might have seen people like Shane Hunt or Dan Grigsby wear. I am really liking them after just 1 week. Speaking of really liking them, liking how much I'm benching. So now we're finally doing some comp bench. So this is utilizing some of the benchmark sets, which I'll definitely do a video on. But top set of 285 for 5, and I rated it at an RPE 8.5, which is pretty good for me. And then from there, moved on to some tempo squat work. And this is one of the clips that I used talking about the new Inzer sleeves that I also got. So last week I talked about Iron Rebels. This week talking about new Inzer, meaning that I sized appropriately in this case, but just doing some tempo work here. And I really love my CB4 also. So the nice things about these hypertrophy blocks is I really get to use a lot of the stuff that I probably wouldn't when I'm closer to competition. And I want to make sure that I'm not doing some really strange variation or using bars I wouldn't be able to use in competition. Day 4, last day, another top set of bench. I went for 285 again with the benchmark set. This time it was an RPE 9, just because after 4 days of benching, all of which was a ton of volume overall, I just started to get a little bit fatigued, but that's what I like about some of the back off sets. So 7 sets of 10 with back offs for 205 pounds, all rated at RPE 5. And then the last main work were just some trap bar deadlifts. And I like this. I feel like I'm getting better. I owe you guys a video on this rep trap bar, but I can feel like I can just really work on my hip hinge here and not worry about much else. Hopefully everyone has a good week, and I'll check in with you with some more review videos and other videos coming up before you know it. All right, everyone. Talk to you then. Stay big.